If you don't want to come to the dawah, we will bring the dawah to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. So in today's video I'll be doing something a bit different. As you can see, I'm showing my face and I'm doing it in English. I believe this is the first time that I'm showing my face and doing a video in English. So I got a better mic, so alhamdulillah I can record better videos. And so let's get right into the topic. So there is a lot of issue when it comes with theists. They argue, does free will exist or does it not exist? Or how do we know there is free will? And all these arguments against theism or the theistic idea of free will that such as the Abrahamic religions have, the Jews have, Christians have, Muslims have, which is that humans themselves do have free will. But I don't want to get into the theological idea. I want to prove that yes, humans do have free will, or there is a possibility of us having actual free will. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use Imam Al Ghazali's argument. He put it in a really good formulation, but I think that it can be better understood in this specific type of formulation. So what did Imam Al Ghazali say regarding this free will argument? So first of all, before we get into that, let's understand what free will is. When we say we have free will, we mean that we can choose freely without to do something. We can choose freely to cause something, for example, without independently. Okay, we can do it without independently or without any prior causation. You can understand it in that way. So let's say that is free will. We have complete control over what we do. That is free will. But the determinist says that everything you do, it is caused by something before you. So for example, me making this video is because I knew that Muslims had these doubts, and Muslim having these doubts is because of atheists making these videos. The reason some atheists might have made this video is because he wanted to refute theism. Okay, and this just keeps on going to prior causes, and it is determined by prior causes. But that so it leads to this current event being determined as well due to prior causes. But Imam Al Ghazali says that it is not necessary that all situation is determined by prior causes and prior wants. So one of the argument that atheists make, or people who are against free will, I should be saying determinists rather than atheists, because they are actually determinists. So even if he's a Muslim or Christian, he can be a determinist. In Muslim understanding, we call them Al-Jabariyah. The people who do deny free will of human beings are called Al-Jabariyah. They basically believe that all Muslims, all humans do not have actual free will, and they are just basically being puppeted by God. So that is what determinism is, the idea of determinism within the Islamic theology or Mu'tazili understanding of which is similar to, basically the same as determinism and denying free will of human beings. So how did Imam Al Ghazali try to refute this? He gave this amazing formulation, because as you see, determinists, they will say that the reason we do not have free will is because we always do what we want, and we do not choose what we want. Okay, so I wanted to make this video, but the reason that I wanted to make this video, I did not choose the want. This want was caused due to other reasons outside of me. Okay, for example, the reason I wanted to make this video is because I saw other people getting doubts, and the same reason, that's me being influenced by outside sources, and that determines my want. I do not choose my want, and I always do what I want. This is the argument that determinists give. What did Imam Al Ghazali do to refute this? Imam Al Ghazali gave this amazing formulation and amazing analogy and amazing scenario. He said that a thirsty man can have two identical glasses being presented to him. So for the idea that he's putting forward is that for the person, the thirsty man, these two identical glasses, okay, they are identical in nature. So it doesn't, like, if the glass is on the left, the right, they don't, that's not a difference for him, because the want for these glasses for him remains the same. So what the Imam Al Ghazali is effectively doing here is saying that it is possible that the want for something, for a human being, can be exactly the same for two different things. So the want is completely the same for two different things. So even if I do not choose what I want, okay, I do not choose what I want. So if the want for these glasses for the man who is thirsty is exactly the same, and Imam Al Ghazali makes the argument even better, is that he basically will die of thirst. I believe that's what he says. He basically will die of thirst if he doesn't drink these glasses, a single glass at least. So the conclusion will be he definitely drinks a glass of water to live. Okay? But at the same time, his want for both of these glasses of water is exactly the same. So if the want of them both being is exactly the same, then there's equal want of two different things, but he chooses in one of those wants. He literally has a choice. And then basically determinists can make an argument. They can still try to make an argument, say that this goes against a modality. But the great thing about this argument is that neither is it logically impossible or metaphysically impossible, because this argument is not is not going against any metaphysical claim. The scenario itself is not going against some metaphysical claim or some logical claim. The conclusion is that free will does exist. This goes against a determinist modality. Okay, this goes against someone who is a determinist. It goes against his modality, to speak, which will for him go against his metaphysical claims, and it will for him be metaphysically impossible. But the fact is that because the scenario can exist metaphysically, the scenario is metaphysically possible and logically possible, shows that the modality of the determinist is flawed. And if you guys do not know what modality is, I should have said it before. Modality basically means something that determines. Basically, the modality is the logic and reasoning used to determine what is possible and impossible. For example, the normal understanding of modality for us will be that contradictions are impossible, and 2 plus 2 is possible. 2 plus 2 is necessary, and contradictions are impossible. 2 plus 2 is equals to 5 is impossible, and there being another guy named Brother Dawa is possible. So it can be necessary, possible, or just a brute fact, and these are impossible, and these things come within modality. So it is the idea of determining what is impossible and possible. So with all that being said, Imam Al Ghazali effectively shows that it doesn't contradict your modality. It doesn't contradict and be metaphysically impossible, the scenario itself, and the scenario itself is not logically impossible. The only thing is that the conclusion goes against the modality of someone who is a determinist. So it goes against, it shows that it is totally possible that free will can exist, and a scenario like as described by Imam Al Ghazali is completely possible, meaning that free will within humans can do exist, because this scenario is possible. So what it means is that this scenario is possible for human beings. Okay, so the fact that this scenario can happen shows that the free will, the potential of free will, or the free will, is within the human being himself. So it is irrelevant if it is active or if it takes place in all scenarios or it takes place in only specific scenarios. The free will takes place on only specific scenarios. That is irrelevant because free will still exist. So I believe this is a really good argument against determinists, and Muslims should really know these type of arguments when talking against atheists and determinists. Because the thing is that we do have really good arguments, especially Muslim philosophers. They have arguments against these concepts and ideologies centuries ago. Okay, we have the idea of al-Jabariyya, al-Qadariyya, and basically we have these different, especially within the Mu'tazili circles, they have these concepts that they disregarded. Many like interpreted in different ways the attributes of Allah, and the philosopher, the Imams, they try to refute these views and try to bring the most authentic view of Islam. So we have these arguments. So I'm gonna try to answer these questions as well as I go along with this series. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that, and I hope to see you guys again. And let me know in the comments, what do you guys want to see in the future, which argument or which view do you want me to cover from a Muslim philosopher, classical philosopher's view of that argument, such as with free will, with determination, with morals, and with impossibility and possibility, and with the evidence of Islam. Just let me know in the comments, and inshallah I'll try to cover that. So the reason that we Muslims should know that is because this comes really handy when you're giving dawah. Because in today's generation, these questions are becoming really common, and the answers are out there, and they're not even that complicated. So just learn, just read, just educate yourself, and inshallah you will be refuting these kuffar, these kufri views easily, one by one, easily, inshallah. So with that being said, it was great making this video. Hopefully you guys